The Empress Who Vanished. Empress Lyra Vara of the Astral Dominion had worn crowns of starlight, commanded fleets capable of erasing planets, and held the loyalty of billions spread across 3 spiral arms. Yet none of that power could silence the gnawing emptiness she carried. For years, she had ruled behind shimmering palaces and ceremonial walls, her image projected as serene, wise, untouchable. But Lyra felt trapped in a cage built of reverence. Every hour of her day was dictated. Every word she spoke was weighed by advisors. Every relationship was monitored, measured, controlled. So, for the first time in her reign, she vanished. Not truly vanished. Her bodyguards knew her location, though she forbid them from intervening unless her life was in danger. She disguised herself as a common visitor aboard Station D-14, an aging orbital trading hub near Terran space. Wearing a simple traveler's coat and concealing her iridescent Dominion features beneath a holoveil, she walked freely for the first time in years. And at 2:43 station time, unable to sleep, she took a solitary walk through the nearly abandoned lower decks. There, she heard it. Tap. Scritch. Tap. Soft shuffling. A clink of metal. Curious, she followed the sound down a dim corridor lit by the occasional flickering blue emergency strip. The station was old, older than most empires, its bones creaking under decades of patchwork repairs. Lyra kept her hand inside her coat, fingers brushing the concealed stunner her guard insisted she carry. She turned the corner. That's when she saw him. A human, young, maybe mid-20s. Grease-stained jacket. A portable toolkit laid open beside him. A massive engine component lay disassembled in front of him, its circuits exposed like the ribs of a dying beast. But what caught her attention wasn't the machine. It was the flashlight. He held it between his teeth, clenched awkwardly as he leaned over an open manual, pages covered in cramped handwriting and equations. He was studying, furiously, while repairing an engine twice his size. Lyra froze, unseen, listening. "Come on, Rianne," he muttered around the flashlight. "You got one chance to pass that guild exam. Don't screw this up." A mechanic studying engineering theory on the floor of a forgotten deck. Something in Lyra pulled toward him. She stepped forward. Middle, the mechanic and the stranger. Rianne jerked upright at her footsteps. The flashlight clattered to the floor. "Oh, sorry, deck's closed this time of night," he said, brushing off his knees. "If you're looking for the shuttle bay, it's 3 levels up." His voice was warm despite obvious embarrassment. Lyra hesitated. She wasn't supposed to draw attention. She should have thanked him and left. But she found herself curious. "What are you studying?" she asked. He blinked. Propulsion theory. For the Terran Mechanics Guild exam. It's in 2 days." He scratched the back of his head. "Didn't mean to bother anyone. This is the only quiet place left on the station." Lyra glanced at the machine beside him. "You're repairing this stabilizer alone?" "Yep." He grinned sheepishly. "Captain swore he'd space me if I didn't have it fixed by morning." "Not literally, obviously." "Probably." "So you study while you work?" she asked. Rianne shrugged. "Gotta make do. Grew up on scrap stations. Never had proper schooling. But I'm trying." His smile faded a little. "Humans like me don't get many chances in the Dominion-controlled sectors." Lyra felt a sting of guilt. He had no idea the woman standing before him was the one whose government shaped those policies. "You're very determined," she said gently. He laughed. "Determined or stupid? Jury's out." She knelt beside him, surprising him. "May I see?" He handed her the manual, looking a bit nervous. Lyra scanned the handwritten formulas. Your calculations for plasma containment efficiency, they're incorrect. His face flushed. I know. I've been stuck on that part for a week. She tore a scrap of paper from his notes and wrote revised equations with steady, elegant strokes. Rian stared, jaw slack. How did you? Wait, are you some kind of engineer? She smiled faintly. Something like that. For the next hour, they worked side by side. Lyra explained complex physics. Rian absorbed every word like a sponge. He cracked jokes at his own expense. She laughed, genuinely, for the first time in months. But as the engine hummed back to life under Rian's steady hands, Lyra felt a tightening in her chest. Here was a man living on scraps, studying by flashlight, dreaming of a better life. And she, Empress of the Dominion, had never once seen the realities suffered by the lower sectors. Thank you, Rian said softly when they finished. I don't even know your name. Lyra, she said before she could stop herself. He extended a hand. Rian Vale. She shook it. He hesitated, then asked, Would you maybe like to get coffee tomorrow? You know, as thanks for the help. Lyra's heart thudded. She should have said no. She should have remembered she was an empress disguised among commoners. But she heard herself say, yes. The days that changed her. In the days that followed, Lyra slipped away from her security team to meet Rian in different parts of the station. They talked for hours. Rian told her about his childhood on failing habitats, how he taught himself engineering from discarded textbooks, how he dreamed of designing ships that didn't break down every month. She told him, carefully edited truths, about being a traveling scholar, about growing up in a place where expectations suffocated her. They shared food in dingy diners, laughed over malfunctioning vending bots, watched cargo ships drift past the station windows like wandering whales. Rian treated her not as royalty, not as someone special, but simply as a person worth talking to. And Lyra slowly realized something. She felt more alive in these stolen days than in her entire reign. But the illusion couldn't last. On the fourth day, Dominion agents arrived on the station. Lyra saw the alert ping on her wristband. Proximity of Imperial Security, Sector 3. Her heart sank. She ran to the workshop where Rian often studied. He was there, tools spread around him, muttering over another practice exam. Rian, we have to go, she said urgently. Hey? Why? Lyra disabled her holoveil. And the air shimmered. Gone was the simple traveler. In her place stood the iridescent, unmistakable Empress of the Astral Dominion. Rian's wrench fell to the floor with a metallic crash. Why you're... His voice cracked. The Empress? I'm sorry, she said, stepping closer. I never meant to deceive you. He backed away, breath trembling. I talked to you like you were just anyone. I joked. Stars, I asked you to coffee. It was the first time someone treated me like a person, she whispered. Security footsteps thundered down the corridor. She grabbed his hands. Listen to me. They can't know you helped me. They'll question you endlessly. You must pretend we barely spoke. Rian shook his head violently. No. I won't let them drag you back to that cage. You can't fight them, Lyra said gently. You're one man with a wrench. He swallowed. Then don't go back. Her heart twisted. Rian, billions rely on me. I can't abandon them. Then change things, he whispered fiercely. Change the rules. You've seen how people live down here. You can fix it. The footsteps were getting closer. She squeezed his hands one last time. Thank you for reminding me what freedom feels like. Then she activated her veil and stepped away just as her guards rounded the corner. Your Majesty, they exclaimed. We must escort you back immediately. The Senate demands. I know, she said, her voice steady. Take me home. She didn't look back. Ending, the decree that shook a galaxy. 3 weeks later, all 3 arms of the Astral Dominion tuned into a rare live broadcast. Empress Lyra Veere stepped onto the balcony of the Imperial Spire, adorned in ceremonial radiance. She looked calm, regal, but those who knew her sensed something had changed. My citizens, she began, I have walked among you. I have witnessed the inequities endured by those in the lower sectors. I have seen people of brilliance denied opportunity. Effective immediately, the Dominion will institute sweeping reforms, education access for all worlds, support for independent engineers and inventors, and the dismantling of oppressive travel restrictions. The crowd roared. Somewhere on Station D14, Rianne watched the broadcast from a tiny break room, jaw slack, eyes wide. He knew that this speech was born in those quiet nights they shared. And one more announcement, Lyra said. This year, the Empire will personally sponsor 3 citizen engineers to attend the Central Guild Academy. Rianne's breath hitched. The first sponsorship, she continued, goes to a human mechanic from the outer stations. A man of remarkable perseverance and talent. Rianne Vale. He dropped his tool, hands shaking. His co-workers shouted. Someone slapped him on the back. But Rianne couldn't hear any of it. He stared at the Empress on screen, her eyes warm, shining. She remembered him. She believed in him. Across light years, Lyra's gaze seemed to meet his. And though duty held her in the stars and destiny tied him to a new future, both knew. What happened in those quiet, forgotten corridors had changed them forever. The Empress had found her purpose. The mechanic had found his chance. And maybe, one day, the paths of destiny would bring them together again. Jez her life.